Welcome back. In this video, we shall talk about a very important concept in React known as props. Props in React is to an element what properties or attributes is to an element in regular HTML. For example, you know in HTML we have the img tag, which is the image tag, right? Where we say image, just like this. Now, this tag is useless because it's supposed to display an image for us, but it cannot display an image if it's just like this. For this tag to work properly, we need to have an src property like so. Src set to the location of the image. Now, this is the concept of props in React. So let's use conga.com to explain this better. Let's head over to conga.com. As you can see, each box here displays the image of the product, the price of the product, the title of the product, and even bonuses on the product. Normally, it will be stressful for the developer to build a new box every time a product is uploaded to this page. It will be very thoughtful if we create a product component with image, price, name, the bonus property, so that the upload can be dynamic using one block of code. This makes React very good at creating reusable code for the UI. So let's make a mini conga.com to explain this practically. Let's head over to our VS Code. Let's come over here. Let's get rid of this. In our div tag, let's create another div tag and let's pass in an image tag with a class name set to my image. Passing an src attribute set to my Cloudinary account. You can also go and create one for yourself. You can upload images there, copy the URLs, and paste it on your application. So let's paste this here. And let's close the image tag right there. Let's go to the next line. Let's create a h4 tag that's going to take the title of our product. Let's say fairly used laptop. Let's come down. Let's set the price to 100 Naira. And let's also set the description to widescreen and blue seal. Just something basic, not something really. Let's head back to our browser to see what we have. As you can see, we have the laptop image occupying the whole page. So for us to go around this, let's use some styling. And to do that, let's come to our src folder. Let's create an index.css file. Let's come to our root comp file here. Let's import the CSS file. Now let's save that. In our index.css file, let's look at the class name, which is my image. Let's set that with some CSS properties. Let's say height. Let's set the height to 100px. And let's set the width to 100px. Now let's go back to our browser to see what we have. This looks better. So let's make 4 of this. And the way to do that, I'll get this div and I'll paste it 4 times. 3 more times to make it 4. So we have this. Let's go back to our browser to see what we have. So we have 4 of this. Just a dummy website. You can actually create something better than this. As you can see, this is just 4 items. So imagine we had to upload 2,000 items on our site for sale. It means we have to come here and hard code every item here manually, which will be very hectic. So to make this easy, let's create a file that will have a component called items. Now let's clean all of this. So to do that, let's come over to our src folder. Let's create a file called items.jsx, and in that file let's import React as usual from React, and let's create a function item. Our component name is item, and before that let's export. So before we write anything in our function, let's come here and export our component. Let's say item. Now in our function, let's return an empty JSX for now. Now let's save that. Now let's come back to our root comp file here. Now let's get rid of all of this. So what is going to happen is we shall pass the item component as a child component in our root component, and all of these here, the image, the title, and all of this will be passed to our component name as properties, just the same way we had to pass src in our image tag. So let's get rid of this. Let's also get rid of this div tag here. Now let's pass in our item component. Before we proceed, let's import item from items. So we are going to have something like this. We are going to pass the image, the name of our product, the price of our product, and the description. We are going to pass all of those as properties to our item component. So we'll have something like this. Have image, set this to our Cloudinary link. We'll pass in our Cloudinary link, which is that. The name, which is also going to serve as the title of the item, is going to be, let's say, fairly used laptop. The price is going to be passed in as a string also, 400, and the description is going to be passed in as a string also, blue seal and silver keypads. Now let's save that. Now let me explain what we have here. Our item component is taking properties, just the same way our img tags, our p tags, or any tag in regular HTML takes properties. So let's do this 4 times. Let's copy this and let's paste this. In real life cases, we won't have to pass in the value of these properties by hard coding them in. The values to these properties will be gotten from a database. So let's just go ahead and paste this also. Let's just have 3 for now. So let's save this. Let's head back to our browser to see what we have. As you can see, we have nothing coming up and we have no errors whatsoever coming up. So let's head back to our VS Code. Now let's fix this. The reason we have nothing coming up is because we have not set our props yet to grab any of this. Now let's go to our items.jsx file and pass in props as an argument in our function to get all of this very functional. So here we are going to say props. So let's come in here in our JSX and let's say img class name. Let's set this to my image. I think that's the name in our CSS file here. My image. We'll also have to import that. My image. Before we proceed, let's import this file here, the CSS file. So my image, and the src will not be set to our Cloudinary link this time around. It's going to be set to props.image. Let's close that. The next line will be our h4 tag, which is also going to be set to props.name. Then we'll have our p tag, which is going to be set to props.price. So let's close that. And we'll have our p tag for our description. That's going to take props.description. Now, let's save this. Let's go back to our browser to see what we have. As you can see, we have the same thing coming out. So don't worry, as we proceed, we shall get to understand how to implement props and other features of React very, very well. For now, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share.